My name is Liliana Barbieri. I'm an Italian-born Australian artist and educator living in Melbourne. My practice is project-based and I often use a hybrid of new media and traditional materials to manifest my ideas. I work from a studio in Northcote that I share with 4 other Italian women artists. My journey starts a long way away in both time and space, on the Adriatic coast of central Italy, in the tiny hilltop town of Ripa Teatina. Like so many migrants who left Italy in search of a better future, my mother and I made the 28-day voyage to Australia by ship. My mother's determination to make a success of her new life in a foreign land is inspirational. Friends had assured her that there was work to be had for anyone with dressmaking skills. And within 3 days of arrival, she carefully folded the 9-penny fare into a handkerchief and climbed aboard an early morning tram bound for Flinders Lane in Melbourne's central business district, which in the mid-50s was the centre of the rag trade. Full of hope and great trepidation, she found luck behind the third door she tried. She was escorted to a sewing machine and through the use of sign language was asked to put together a garment from start to finish, and she was hired. Later that day, she returned to our boarding house in Brunswick, elated with the promise of her own pay packet at the end of each week. My love for travel led to my first career in international aviation, employed by the Italian flagship company Alitalia. In the days before Skype and Zoom, we actually flew to Rome regularly for training and meetings. It was a rather flamboyant lifestyle, as I happily flew around the world as part of my job. Those numerous trips to Italy served to fuel my fascination for all things Italian, and heightened my awareness for the beauty of art, design and architecture, and especially for the work of the great masters of the Italian Renaissance. Not surprisingly, my family questioned my sanity when I announced I was giving up an established career to follow my first love and take up full-time studies in fine art. My childhood dream to become an artist had never diminished and was now knocking rather loudly on my psyche. By the time I ditched the corporate world, I had 2 teenage children, a husband and a mortgage. It took enormous courage to make such a drastic change in direction. After much soul-searching, I applied to do a Bachelor of Fine Arts at RMIT University, and I was totally stunned at being called in for an interview and offered a place in the course. Determined to survive financially during my studies, I started a niche travel consultancy, which I operated part-time. The word busy achieved a whole new level of meaning for me at that time. Attending university as a mature-age student, I found myself enmeshed in the most exciting world, a world brimming with possibilities, a mini-cosmos of ideas people, where novelty and creativity were valued and discussed at great length, where there was always someone, either among my peers or lecturers, willing to listen and debate, encourage and develop new forms of expression. I felt I had found my true home. The 3 years I dedicated to the Bachelor of Arts led to a further year to secure an honours degree, and I was thrilled to pick up a couple of art prizes along the way. I worked non-stop and consistently explored unconventional materials to express my ideas. I felt fortune smiled on me when I was awarded an Australian Postgraduate Research Award to do a master's degree. This meant 2 more years of study. But during those 6 years total, I became hooked on education and the potential worlds it can open up. The year 2001 brought double happiness when the RMIT graduation list included 2 Barbieris. I was super proud that my daughter, Carla, graduated on the same day with a Bachelor of Education. I believe we hold the record as the only mother-daughter duo to graduate on the same day. The decision to follow my dream almost certainly changed our family culture for the better. Many of my friends and family were inspired to follow my lead and reimagine their careers and personal development choices. After graduation, a new life chapter began. Working in my studio each day presented opportunities for creative conversations, collaborative works, planning exhibitions, and an ongoing engagement with Melbourne's artistic community. My first project was titled In Memoria. Dedicated to women across the ages, it explored the very shaping of identity. The works consisted of large silkscreen wall scrolls, soundscapes of Italian historical female names, sounding vaguely like an honour roll to victims fallen in battle. Iconic Madonna images printed onto fragile, handmade pasta was an innovation with more than a nod to my mother and my nonna, who always made their own pasta. The community exhibitions manager of the newly minted Melbourne Immigration Museum, Dr. Maria Tense, opened the exhibition. She loved the work and invited me to show in the museum's inaugural exhibition. This was really heady stuff for a mature-age student who'd only just graduated. The creation of art takes me on a continuous journey of discovery. The choice of subject matter evolves in response to life's events and the many shifts that occur over time. The work I make is project-driven and ranges from figuration to geometric abstraction, using a variety of techniques and materials, including photography and light projection. At times, I start with a concept. Other times, the catalyst may be a found object. The nuances of personal and cultural memory are embedded in the work. One of the many highlights of my early career was an international touring project titled Via Vai Arte in Valigia, or Art in a Suitcase. It was shown in two memorable landmark buildings in central Italy. Firstly, in the impressive Castello Ducale, an 11th century fortified castle built by the Normans, clinging perilously onto the side of a hill in the town of Palena. And later at the Basilica of Colle Maggio, a unique Romanesque building built by Pope Celestine V in 1288 in Aquila. I had a strong sense then of coming full circle and returning to my roots. As an artist, I've had the most exciting, fulfilling adventures, crisscrossing the planet, participating in cross-cultural projects and studio residencies. My work has made its way into galleries, museums and private collections in Australia and in places I never dreamed possible, from Beijing to New York, London, South Korea and, of course, Italy. In recent years, my time has been divided between private practice and lecturing in fine arts at various tertiary institutions in Melbourne, Hong Kong and South Korea. The nurturing of ideas between teacher and student creates a very special relationship that I find both empowering and challenging. Facilitating discussion and encouraging students to break through their own barriers to initiate new work always manages to fuel my imagination. Along the way, I became a champion for mature-age students, mentoring many women to follow their dreams and passions via a return to formal study. I find such joy in exploring the mysteries of light and dark, of colour and movement, of unusual mediums and methods. I constantly search for the surprise element that might challenge perceptions and create that special connection between the tangible and the intangible. While the excitement of possibilities never fails to draw me in, notions of time, beauty and longing remain the central underpinning to my work. I continue to exhibit regularly, but over this protracted period of COVID-19, I've become slightly obsessed by the beauty and transformative power of one of nature's most amazing creatures, the butterfly. Being unable to access my studio during lockdowns, I've scaled down my work to fit on a kitchen table, and I happily spend hours creating great swarms of delicate, hand-painted, hand-cut butterflies that flutter in the tiniest breeze. Conceptually, the butterfly presents a perfect metaphor for fragility, strength, freedom, and metamorphosis. And just like people and ideas, butterflies have the unique ability to migrate across many boundaries towards a common goal. My dream today is that human societies will embrace a paradigm shift in thinking following this wake-up call, and that just like the butterfly, planet Earth may experience a positive transformation. I believe art has the power to engage, refresh and stimulate both mind and body, and a successful day in the studio is almost a guarantee of wellness for me. I hope to continue gaining unexpected insights and making art well into the future.